Hello everyone, this is Lisa. In this video, we will be talking about using search connectors when searching Lexis, Westlaw, or Bloomberg. We will investigate in just a few moments when and what these search connectors are, but first, let's answer the very important question of why would you use them in the first place? So let's take a look at one of the databases in this example, Lexis. Here is an example of a natural or plain language search where you just type in your terms or your question as you think of them. It makes perfect sense and is in fact the best strategy to start with a plain or natural language search. Let's see if the algorithms on Lexis, Westlaw, or Bloomberg will help us out in our research. Unfortunately, though, those algorithms don't always work. Sometimes you'll run a plain or natural language search and you will not get results that address your issue. You might discover that you would really wish that your search terms appear closer together or as a phrase, and this is where those search connectors will help you out. So here again, we see that chart with many of the most useful search connectors available. We will explore these in a moment. You will find this chart as a link next to the link where you found this video. But if you don't have this chart handy, let's take a look at how you can get a refresher of the connectors available on the databases themselves. So looking here at Lexis, all you need to do is remember to go to Advanced Search, and you'll see a listing of the different connectors with an explanation, as well as a link to some more alternatives for connectors. Here on Westlaw, you can use again the Advanced, or you can use the Search Tips link. Either one will show you details on the search connectors available. Here's the Advanced link with just a quick explanation or reminder of what the search connectors available are. And finally, on Bloomberg, you need to find this little question mark here next to the search box, and again, you will get a listing of the search connectors. Okay, so now you know how to find a reminder of the search connectors. Let's go back and explore what these search connectors can do for us. So again, here's our natural language search. After trying this search, we may determine that we want to see these terms, breach, fiduciary duty, and lawyer, in some relation to one another, since they are concepts and terms that relate to one another. It's even possible with a natural language search that not all of our terms appear. So to make sure that all of our terms appear in any document retrieved, the most basic of connectors is the AND connectors. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get rid of these small noise or stop words that don't add anything to our search. So I'm going to delete the word of, and I'm going to delete the word by, and I'm going to add our AND connector. So I will add the word AND after the word breach, again with spaces around each side of my connector, and add the word AND between fiduciary and duty, and the word AND between lawyer and duty. So what this search would do is pull up any document that has any of our words, breach, fiduciary duty, and lawyer, anywhere in the document. So this could mean that the word fiduciary is on page 2, and the word duty is on page 42, and the word lawyer is on page 68. As you might guess, if that were the case, that document probably isn't going to address our issue of breach of fiduciary duty by lawyers. So to solve this issue, what we want to use instead of the AND connector are the far more powerful and honestly the most frequently used connectors, which are called proximity connectors. So what proximity connectors do, as you might guess, is they will have our terms appear closer together. So that means that they would be more in relation to one another. So let me show you what that means. So what we might want to say is we want the term breach within the same sentence of the word fiduciary, and that connector is /s. And again, we want spaces on either side of our connectors. Now we could change the and connector here to /s as well, but actually I'm going to guess that we want the words fiduciary duty to appear as a phrase. So in order to get a phrase, I'm going to use quotation marks around the words that I want to be a phrase. Now I don't think the whole phrase breach of fiduciary duty should be in quotations and be searched as a phrase, because I'm guessing that the term breach might appear before the phrase fiduciary duty or might appear after the phrase fiduciary duty. I could imagine a document that talks about a fiduciary duty being breached. So this way the sentence, the term breach can appear on either side. And finally here, looking at the word lawyer, again, it could appear on any page in the document. I'm going to guess it might want to be closer to the whole concept of breach within the same sentence of fiduciary duty. It might not need to be within the same sentence though, but we might want it to appear within the same paragraph. And so for that, I will use the connector /p. At this stage, if we ran this search, what Lexis would be looking for would be the term breach within the same sentence as the phrase fiduciary duty and the phrase fiduciary duty within the same paragraph as lawyer. But it might be that the word breach has different forms. For it definitely does. There's the term breaches or the past tense breached, ed. When you're searching natural language, the natural language algorithm already automatically searches for those alternatives. When you're using connectors, however, the database will not do that, so you need to tell Lexis, Westlaw, or Bloomberg to do that for you. And the way you do that is by using the exclamation point. So now we will get the word breach or the word breaches or the word breached, any of those within the same sentence of the phrase fiduciary duty and that within the same paragraph as lawyer. Another possibility, however, is we know the word lawyer is sometimes used, but in legal documents, we also sometimes see the word attorney. So we want the database to pull up documents that uses either term. And the way we do that is by using the or connector. So at the end here, after the word lawyer, I'm going to add or attorney. So I will get either term since documents may use them interchangeably. So now our search will retrieve documents that have any form of the word breach, which will be in the same sentence as the phrase fiduciary duty because it's in quotations. Any of that needs to be within the same paragraph as either the word lawyer or the word attorney. And the last connector refinement I'll show you is the at least connector. If we're finding that we're getting documents that just mention our very important term fiduciary duty only once, we can actually tell the database, only find me documents where you find the most important critical term at least a certain number of times. So right in front of my term, and my term can be a phrase, as in this example, if I type the word at least and choose my number, so I'm going to choose the number 4, and then I must use parentheses around the term for which I want to have it appear at least a certain number of times. So as a final review before we run our search, we have any form of the word breach within the same sentence of the phrase fiduciary duty, which has to appear at least 4 times for our document to be retrieved, and that fiduciary duty will need to be within the same paragraph as either the word lawyer or attorney. So let's run this search and see what we get. Now, I've run this search on Lexis. These connectors that we've talked about also work on Westlaw and Bloomberg. So Lexis on my account automatically pulls up cases. I can, of course, look at other different types of resources, but let's take a look at our cases results. And we can see our terms highlighted in color, which is really nice. So we see the word attorney, we see the word lawyer, and we see breach of fiduciary duty. So let's scroll down now to case number 3. Here we can see how our connectors have worked. For instance, we can see how the root expander worked to pull up the word breaches not just the word breach. We can also see how the /s connector works in that we have this phrase, attorney breaches his fiduciary duty, rather than just the exact phrase breach of fiduciary duty. So that's all for our introduction to search connectors. Have fun trying them out.